welcome back to Disappointing Turtle. I am Hit Girl, and happy Halloween to everybody. What a lovely, lovely, lovely day. I do love Halloween. It's one of my favourite times of year, so yeah, great stuff. Trick or treating later. That's just for me, not the kid. Anyway, so much stuff to talk about. It's actually been really, really hard for me to choose what I'm going to talk about in this video because there is so much stuff that I want to get off my chest, so many things that have changed that people might not have noticed in the background and things like that, so yeah. Oh, don't forget to like and subscribe, thank you very much. The more you like it, then the more other people get to see my videos, which is good for me and maybe good for them as well, I don't know. You guys can be the judges of that for sure. Please, 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 please subscribe. I'm trying to hit that 2K now, so that's the next benchmark. And I need you guys to help me do that, so yeah. Can't fight crime without subscribers. Okay, so I want to have a little chat to you guys about guard drops with the S cards and things like that. There have been a couple of changes. I don't know if the developers are essentially listening to us, so making slight alterations, or if they've got something else up their sleeves moving forward. Obviously we've just had the main event. I don't know if you guys noticed or paid any attention to, but they have taken the guards back out of that like guard recruitment stage and have put it back into main events where you can get tickets for it again. I personally really like this change. I didn't understand why they had done it in the first place. The only thing obviously that is a bit of a bummer is you now don't get those extra guard fragments for that stage. Obviously moving forward I've noticed that they have put the guard recruitment back into Kingdom's Arms and all of that, so you can still get those extra frags for the legendary guards that are not necessarily available for you when you do those master recruits. One of the things I really, really liked is when they popped this back in into the other event as opposed to the main event, they've now made it available to have 2 different types of frags. Now, I think that is a pretty good compromise. I certainly don't have anything to complain about with that. I think that that is a nice addition and a good change. But the problem that you've got now is, do you save up all of those master recruits for main event like we do with everything else and like we used to, and then you're missing out on those extra frags anyway? Or do you go all in on that, in which case there was no point them changing it? Or obviously you've got the happy medium where you might split 50-50, but the recruitment banners themselves are obviously quite few and far between. I think as a non-spender I usually have around, I think it's 1,200, something like that, each time the main event comes around, which isn't a lot really. So say I was supposed I split that between, you know, 500 on the guard recruit stage where you get the 2 types of frags, and then 500 for main event. I'm going to be stinting myself of tickets is the likelihood of that, which is a bit of a pain in the ass. The only other thing is, I would like to see them put options to actually just straight up buy guards for tickets. I'm not talking about fragments, I'm talking about a one-off, like just that card is what it is, like what it used to be, rather than a percentage of a card, which I just think is ridiculous. They need to get rid of that just altogether. There's still a lot of work to do with the guards. I have noticed that since they've put in this extra recruitment style, which please, please, please do not buy those bloody sun things, because it's just a massive, massive blag. Some of you would have seen Bloodfrost's video where he got very, very upset because he had invested a lot of money and barely got anything as a return. I would have been just as pissed off if that was me. I had cottoned on that it was going to be like that, so I did not buy any of those flipping sun things. I didn't buy them with tickets, and there's no way that I was going to be buying them in packs. They're really expensive. There is no guarantee. It is just another gambling aspect of Guns of Glory, which I do try and warn you guys against. For me personally, I have started spending a little bit here and there, but truly not very much. Maybe like £5 a month. I think I upgrade the Honor now pretty much every time, usually because I want the bottles and things like that. I think that's about it. Alliance Treasure Hunt, I put in my quid. What else? I think that's about it really. Every now and again I might buy one of the daily deals if it's 99 pence and there's a really good thing. I will generally do that around main event if it's basically if it comes down to me needing like 3 things left to be able to do an upgrade, then yes, I'm gonna spend 99p. But I'm not spending any more than that, so yes, I'm just going to be straight up with you guys. My stats are not improving much better than they were before. I think I'm around 10k, 17k now, so still a lot of work for me to do. But they were half that 2 months ago. So I'm happy with the direction that I'm going in at the moment. Anyway, completely going off on a tangent. Back to the cards. I do think that since they've put some things in, the actual S guards are coming up more often now off of the master recruits. I don't know if anybody else has noticed or if it's just me, because honestly these things do seem to vary between accounts. I mean, everybody tends to have a pretty bad drop rate anyway, but what I've noticed is my farms will do much better on Master Guard recruits than my main account. And the only thing that is different between the 2 accounts is that I've spent a bit of money on one and haven't spent any money on the others. And I've watched this over like maybe the last 2 years, especially with farms. I've had multitude of farms over that 2 years, all different ones. A lot of them I've given away because I bring people into 433, so they get a farm that I've worked on for a year, and I will just start working on another one potentially for somebody else to come in, which is always quite nice. Instead of starting at C1, nobody wants to be doing the whole intro C1 journey. It is tedious. But if you do, and you do come to 433, we will help you build up very quickly. That's one of our perks. So yeah, on my main account, I did notice an increase in those actual guard S cards. Gold S cards, guard S cards. I can't talk. It's another day just full of riddles. I'm gonna blame the wig. It's crushing my brain. But yeah, I would really like to see them put into the actual main event 4 tickets, just a guard that you can buy. Anyone, like pick 3 good ones. You can buy like you can buy 2 cards for each or something like that for, I don't know. I mean, they put monetary value on this, so say 100 tickets. You know, yes, it's a lot, but come on, be realistic. This is Guns of Glory, and they need to put something like that in. So if we do decide to invest all of our tickets into that main event side of stuff, we can do that and also have the opportunity to bolster our guards where we would be missing out on that guard recruit in Kingdom's Arms and all of those events. While we're on the topic of guards, I would just like to put my 2 pence in and say that there are too many now. It is getting a little bit out of control. They need to stop that. I was having a little pondering on my way home the other day, and I thought at the rate that they are spieling these out, and the same with the equipment as well, in 5 years' time, the amount of guards that you need are going to be absolutely ridiculous. The amount of equipment. Each thing is making the one below it obsolete. Like, you can't get the Bloodtooth now, for example, because obviously we are so many ranks ahead, so those bottles have now become obsolete, along with the Pursuer as well. But you need these bottles, and you need the scrolls in order to be able to make the equipment above it. But you've made the equipment below it pretty much obsolete and unobtainable. there needs to come a point where they take equipment out and just say, look, here's some compensation. This equipment is no longer valid. We don't need any more. Like Demon Hunter, for example, which back in its day was amazing. Everybody wanted it. Everybody needed their hands on it. Retribution gear, you know. We're going back to like low level ranking stuff that back in its day was the top of its ranking. But if Guns of Glory continue just spieling all this out so often, we're going to get to a point where we're going to have 30 different ranks of equipment, and trying to catch up from like a starter kingdom C1 to somebody who potentially could be a C45 and playing for 4 years is just going to push the bracket so wide that actually catching up with them is going to be entirely unobtainable. The same goes for the guards as well. There are just so many guards, and the way that they have set up these troop formations now, using the strategy of the game, the way that they have reinvented it, everybody knows that you need to send the same troops as guard styles. Fine. They've reintroduced the mixed marches, in the sense that you now would mix infantry in, but you need specific guards for that, and you need 2 of them, not 1. Otherwise they're pointless. You're losing damage and stats and all sorts of stuff. So you have to collect these cards in pairs, which means a lot of non-spenders are still using the original Master Guards. Maybe Anne, I'm sorry, this wig has got bits of hair and it keeps falling off and it's itching me like crazy. Yeah, so, you know, like Anne and Aramis, a lot of non-spenders are probably caught up with right now, but in regards to the other sort of like fancy pairs, Jean d'Arc, what's her bloody name? Lara Croft, who isn't Lara Croft. You know, I don't even know all of these guards off the top of my head because there's just so many that I actually can't remember all their names now without actually going and looking. Or I'll have like a wild guess, or I'll call them by who they're supposed to be. I think most people are catching up with Jacket and Blackbeard now because obviously they were the next ones that were released after Anne and Aramis. But without having both guards, they are essentially just rendered pretty useless. Blackbeard is okay paired with Morpin for Wolf, but Wolf is not going to win you KVK and UAC and Uncharted Seas and any other event that they want to throw at us where we need to have good, heavy stats, you know. Who were we playing yesterday? KVK yesterday, we had Luca, not Big Luca, but it was another Luca who was also just massively statted out. And it was 30k bottom stats on Cav, and all the other ones reflected that as well. I think it was like 23k troop attack and stuff. We can't actually compete with that. And I know a lot of people do complain about this quite a lot, and I kind of think, oh, I know, but that's just the way it is and you've got to suck it up. But we're getting to a point now where, because things are not either readily available or things that should be obsolete are still available but unobtainable, the gap is widening and they really do need to do something about this and fix it. And I think maybe starting with guards, following up with some suggestions. If you guys also like hit them up on Discord, or if you actually do write to customer service if you're having problems and stuff. I know you guys think that it isn't being dealt with because it obviously is an automated robot system, which is absolutely diabolical. That robot needs putting out of its misery. Things do get reported back to the studio to be rectified. I think the fact they have changed guards and the formats and all of that kind of proves that things do get forwarded back to them. I think they are trying to do things about this stuff, but they don't know what to do. They don't know how to achieve what we're all asking of them, or they don't know how to build it into the game, or it means reanimating an entire different aspect. I don't know, but I just know that moving forward, something has got to give. It can't be fun for the big statted players to just rock up and annihilate an entire alliance. People play this game because they want to use strategy. Of course you want to be the best, but you don't want to be the best just because other people can't catch you up. I'm not going to say it's cheating, because obviously it isn't, but it's a massive step up compared to other people, and I think these new stats that are all coming out is really, really reflective of that, and that the GOG devs themselves really need to start paying attention to this sort of stuff, and try and find some sort of balance where everybody can enjoy the game. Some people have thrown out about having like secular kingdoms, so you'd have all the big players in one and all the little ones in another. No, I absolutely hate that idea. I don't believe that that is a solution. I think that is just another problem. It will just be another issue. You would need 2 servers just for events, because otherwise what would you do during KVK? Imagine if you were a kingdom of just C1s to C30s and you get paired with a kingdom that is C30 to C45 because you've got the same amount of stars. It won't work. It doesn't work. Something else needs to change somewhere else. So yeah, a little bit of a ranty one maybe. Also good though, because I do think they have done some good putting the guards back into the event. I'm just not sure how that's going to work for some people. I guess time will tell. But also, yeah, lots and lots of things that need addressing before more and more people quit this game, because obviously people know that quite a lot of big players have quit very recently. I don't know if this is just like a generational thing, because obviously there's only so much that this game can keep you interested in it anyway. I think a lot of it is social for other people rather than the actual gameplay itself. They've made a lot of friends. Essentially it's like a second family, so people are willing to invest time in other people. But the point where they kind of break down and leave is the point where they're not willing to keep investing the money, but maybe people in their kingdom expect them to keep investing and keep growing and keep being the best. It is a lot of pressure to be a big castle and for people to expect you to maintain a limit of spending, and I think that it can cause probably, you know, issues. I would definitely question if people understood the amount of money that's actually been thrown down by these big players, because that is a huge investment to make. And yes, they are making it in their castle, but essentially they're making that investment to their alliance and their kingdoms as well. And I know that I am very thankful to my big spenders and my big guys, and I wish that I could help them out every now and again with whatever, and I do. If they need resources and things like that, anything that I can do, I will. But obviously I don't have 6 grand to go, here you go, pop that down, get yourself some nice guards. It would be nice. Okay, so up next we've got the 3rd degree with Creed. This is the 3rd degree with me, Creed. So this week on the 3rd degree with Creed, we are going to have a little moan about the migration. I know you're all dying to do it. I've seen all your posts on Facebook. Yes, pretty bullshit, right? So you've got to buy tickets. Depending on how active said kingdom is, depends on how many tickets you need to buy, which is a bit silly, really. You do not get any refunds for your ticket. So if you go and you don't like it, sorry, I keep faffing around with this, right, I'll stop now. If you go and you don't like it, you don't get your money back. So the way I see this is, and before you guys start, I know that this is a I can't say the word. Preliminary. Oh my god. Okay, right, that word's gone. I can't say it. I have no idea. I know this is just like a trial period, so things will be changed. But asking anybody to spend any money on a trial period is just absolutely ludicrous. And the way I see it is this is just another gambling aspect of Guns of Glory. They've gone about it in completely the wrong way. I never expected it to be free. Do not mistake me on that. I always expected it to cost. I thought it was going to be around 200k gold, which I think actually is probably still too much, but is respectable and achievable and obtainable for everybody. The fact that they are asking us to part with actual cash just to go and stay somewhere for 3 days to maybe then go back to the kingdom, I think is ludicrous. I think the 3-day trial period should be free. And then if you wish to migrate after that, so after the 3-day no attack period's ended, then you have to purchase your tickets or pay with gold. The amount that they're charging is absolutely disgusting, especially when you don't really know what you're going to get. I think if you have relationships with other kingdoms and you know what it's like, then you're not taking as much of a gamble. People will spend money on this. I really, really hope that you don't, because this needs to be ended before it's begun. They need to re-evaluate how they're going to do this. This is not the correct way. Something really does need to change in the way that they're doing this. We obviously thought that Uncharted Seas was going to be the decider before Uncharted Seas started, so about 2 months before that we were kind of privy to the fact that it probably wasn't going to be the ultimate decider. However, they've still decided to stick with the kingdoms you were paired with during UAC, which was really unfair, unequally matched pairings. So I just don't know what the hell they're playing at. I don't think it's a good look. I think it is another way of taking advantage out of people. I think truly what you're better off doing, and I know this is against terms and conditions, but is just go seek out a kingdom, see if you can either obtain a castle, whether it's a main or a farm, just build it up and cut your losses on your old kingdom, because they've really fed into this for about 9 months now, and they've made a massive hoo-ha about it and really, really, really hyped it up. Got people really excited. I know things weren't always going to be plain sailing. For example, 433 were in conversations with another kingdom like 5 or 6 months ago. When rumours first started coming, we really, really hoped for a migration with them, or a merge with them. It did become more and more apparent as the months closed that probably wasn't going to happen, but I'm sure we're not the only ones that did that. So people were already starting to put the feelers out. I understand why they're doing it based on activity, but I do have a problem with this as well. Is a lot of active castles, and I'm going to say an absolute huge percentage of them, are resource selling castles. So yeah, those accounts are active every day because they're run by bots. In my kingdom alone, we've probably got 500 of them. So when we come up to our migration period, if they decide to expand out of, it's going to cost a bomb to be able to come to us, but not because we're a hugely active kingdom, because we've got millions and millions of resource sellers running multiple accounts, bots just here, there and everywhere. My mailbox over the last 6 weeks is just full, absolutely full. I don't mind the resource sellers. I actually don't mind them. I would rather pay them than I would pay for the outlandish prices that Guns of Glory asks for resources. That being said, how is Guns of Glory going to take into account all of these castles that are active but not actually active? The only time that they are ever accessed by a human being that isn't a robot is to release resources when people have sold them. But to a computer system, that castle is active 24/7 because it has got bots sending out army soldiers, whatever, to go and gather resources and coming back and hitting threats and doing beasts and blah de blah de blah. So yeah, I think that is going to cause major issues for a lot of kingdoms, and the activity of the resource sellers has really stepped up over the last couple of months. I don't know how anybody can deny their activity, essentially. Not to say that they aren't there, but the percentage that they're making up of kingdoms has got to be quite big. I'm betting that it's probably around half in some kingdoms, if not more. I would have to obviously do some extensive research to get figures like that, but I mean, you all know how many mail you get every day. You all know that every single person in your kingdoms receives that same mail, and every day a different account, whether it's been closed down or whatever, but every day a different account, a different mail, a new account. I never ever get mail from an account that I got mail from yesterday or the day before. It's always a new account, so these are constantly regurgitating these new accounts and these low level, like they usually leave them around C16 or C18, and yeah, just churning out resources 24/7. So I think that's going to cause more problems, but we'll see what they decide to do about that. I hope they don't just ignore the fact that that is happening and they actually address the issue. I don't know how they could. We'll see, I guess, but yeah, that's my little bitch and moan, is the fact that they have just made this what could have been a really exciting and prosperous thing for a lot of kingdoms. They've put a massive dampener on it and just ruined it for a lot of people. I never wanted to leave my kingdom anyway, so I'm okay, but the community on a whole are going to be really, really upset by this. And I think a lot of the comments, loudspeakers, all of that sort of stuff is really reflective of just how pissed off people are. So yeah, they need... Oh, I don't know if that was a hiccup or a burp, but pardon me. Yeah, they really, really need to address this, and they need to address the community. We need a mail explaining what's going to be done about this. But yeah, there we go. That's my little bitch and moan for today. All interesting stuff. I'm going to be keeping an eye on it. No, do not be going and spending $600, $800. Move into a kingdom for 3 days. Please, please, please do not. I don't care if you have all the money in the world, but just don't feed into the agenda, because then you become part of the problem. And I say that lightly because I know some people are desperate to get out of their kingdoms. But if just one person buys into this, it then validates what they've done, and they will not go back on that. It will be fixed, it will be there, and nobody will be going anywhere. So, yeah, meh. Anyway, time for a little bit of banter.
This is where I answer all your questions, little bit of banter, banter, psych!
So the thing that I want to have a little bit of banter about today is actually you guys, the community. So there's some very funny fuckers among you lot. But yeah, I just really want to talk about the fact that Guns of Glory has got one of the most strangest but best communities that I've ever managed to be a part of, really. You're all a really, really lovely bunch, with possibly an exception to a few, but you know, that's life, isn't it? Statistically, there's gotta be a couple of arseholes. But generally, yeah, Facebook's really the official page, of course, has really started ramping up. Bloodfrost and Paper Matthew especially whap out some quite funny memes, and I've seen a few more of you guys joining in on that recently. I think it's absolutely hilarious. It's a bit of fun. I really love the fact that we can just really take the piss out of ourselves and it's perfectly fine, bearing in mind a lot of people use their actual profiles on Facebook. There are some people that don't, but quite a lot of people do. So you're really putting yourselves out there. But yeah, I think a lot of this game and the shit hands that we tend to kind of get dealt can be made very satirical. You guys make it very easy for me to do my memes, because I will honestly just look at my newsfeed for the day, and 80% of it will be about one topic, and pretty much everybody has posted or said the same thing about said topic. So I find that absolutely hilarious. Please read your mail. Obviously, I've moaned about this in the past, but genuinely, a lot of stuff that people moan about is things that we've been notified about weeks prior. So either people just have really, really short memories, or they're not reading their mail. So yeah, that's the only thing. But genuinely, this community is outstanding. I think I've made some friends for life. I think there's a lot of people out there that have made friends for life as well. There's lots of people that have met each other outside of the game, and all sorts of different things. And I've played a lot of games, mainly on Xbox. They all come heavily with their own communities. This is the only mobile game with this kind of community where we've got to the point of satire, and that generally happens when you're not afraid to offend people anymore. That kind of comes with the internet, because you're keyboard warriors. But in game, you're hiding behind your screen name. But when you're there on the Facebook official, you're not, essentially. So, you really are stating your mind and opinions. I suppose you still got a little bit of an anonymity, because people might not know which player you are. But yeah, keep it coming. Keep the memes coming. Keep the jokes coming. All of that stuff. It really does brighten my day. I think it's absolutely hilarious. If you're not following the Facebook Guns of Glory official page, make sure you follow it so that you don't miss out on some of that banter. And follow Disappointing Turtles Facebook page as well, because I do pop little bits on there that do not go into my videos. I make little comments, and there's a few jokes and memes and stuff like that. I just think it kind of broadens the community. It gives people another place to touch base. Obviously, if you want to stay anon, make a new Facebook account using whatever bloody name you feel like. I don't really care. Or don't do it at all. But yeah, thanks for the banter. Great bloody community. Love you all loads. Mwah. And with that, my eyes have disappeared into my brain. Right, let's fix myself for this final little moment. Okay. Thanks very much for watching. You've all been amazing as always. I absolutely love every single one of you. Thank you so much for supporting my channel and supporting my content. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, because that lets me know that you guys want to keep watching my videos, and it gives me the encouragement to keep making said videos. If you feel like being the kindest person in the world, you can donate me a coffee at donatemeacoffee.com. I will leave the link in the description below. I would just like to say a massive thank you to Jambon for donating me a coffee. It was delicious. Thank you very much. Costa's vanilla latte is my favourite brand, so yeah, full fat milk because I'm not shy. And yeah, that's it guys, so thank you ever so much. Take care, have a lovely day. Goodbye.